Look out your window right now and think about that bird. I want you to think about the one that sits on your fence. The one that taps on your glass every single morning. The one that shows up at the exact same time waiting. You have seen it 100 times, maybe even 1,000. And every single time you told yourself the same comfortable lie. You said it is just looking for food and nothing more. You said it is just being a bird doing bird things. You said it does not even know that I exist at all. What if I told you that you are completely wrong about this? What if I told you this bird is not looking for food? What if I told you this bird is actually studying you closely? For the last 7 years, behavioral ecologists have quietly uncovered a truth. A truth most of us are not ready to accept just yet. A truth that challenges everything we thought we knew about animals. The animals that live right next to us in our own world. You see, the bird that visits you daily is not just visiting. It is not just passing through your garden or your balcony. It is choosing you, and that changes everything we understand. And here is the question that will haunt you for good. Why would a wild creature with a tiny peanut-sized brain decide to spend its precious energy visiting you specifically every day? Out of all the millions of humans in your entire city, why your window, and why your garden, and why your balcony? The answer is going to surprise you more than you expect. In fact, it might even disturb you on a deeper level. Because the bird that visits you daily has a secret diary. It has been keeping a secret diary about you all along. And today we are going to read that diary together. But before we dive into that diary, I need you to understand. Birds are not stupid, and we have been wrong for centuries. We have been conditioned by human arrogance to believe birds are simple. We tell ourselves they are just reflexes wrapped in feathers. We tell ourselves they have no memory and no emotion. We tell ourselves they have no sense of self at all. That belief is the biggest intellectual mistake we ever made. Did you know a crow has the same neuron density as a chimpanzee? Did you know a pigeon can recognize every single human face? Even if you change your clothes, and even if you change your hair. Let me say that again, because this is incredibly important. A pigeon can recognize you individually and personally without any doubt. It recognizes you by your face, and it remembers for years. So when that bird lands on your balcony, it is not confused. It is not looking at a random human being passing by. It is looking at John or Sarah or Michael or maybe you. It has a name for you inside its tiny little head. And it has a reputation for you within its entire flock. The question is, what kind of reputation have you actually earned? And more importantly, what happens if you stop being their favorite? Let us start with a story about a woman in London. Let us call her Claire for the sake of this story. Claire noticed about 2 years ago something very unusual. A single blue tit would visit her kitchen window every morning. It would arrive at exactly 7:15 a.m. without fail. At first she thought it was random and completely meaningless. She thought the bird was just hungry like any other animal. So she started putting out sunflower seeds on the windowsill. But something strange happened after a few weeks passed by. The bird stopped eating immediately when it arrived each morning. Instead, it would land on the sill and tilt its head slowly. It would just stare at Claire through the glass for a long time. For 10 seconds, and then 20 seconds, and sometimes a full minute. And Claire told herself the same lie we all tell ourselves. She said, it is just waiting for me to put out more food. But the food was already there, so why was it staring? This is where we enter the world of avian psychology today. Birds are not just eating machines that operate on instinct. They are social spies, and they are information traders in nature. And Claire's blue tit was not staring because it wanted food. It was staring because it was memorizing her face and movements. You see, birds have something called individual recognition ability. This is a biological superpower that allows them to catalog humans. They catalog faces, movements, and even the moods of specific people. Researchers at the University of Vienna made a stunning discovery. Crows can remember a human face for up to 5 full years. 5 years is a long time for a creature so small. But here is the disturbing part that changes everything we know. They do not just remember you, they remember how you made them feel. If you feed them, they remember that you are generous and kind. If you shoo them away, they remember that you are dangerous and bad. And here is the kicker that will blow your mind completely. They tell their friends about you and share that information widely. Yes, birds have a sophisticated social network just like humans. They share detailed information about humans with their entire flock. They literally have a good human and bad human list. They pass this list down to their offspring for generations. So when Claire's blue tit stared at her through the glass window, it was not waiting for a seed or any kind of food. It was updating its personal profile of Claire in its memory. It was asking itself, is this human safe to be around? Is this human predictable, and can I trust this human completely? Is this human worthy of my trust and my precious life? And that right there is the very first secret we are revealing. The bird that visits you daily is not there because it is hungry. It is there because it is deeply curious about who you are. It is there because you have already passed the very first test. You have been identified as a point of interest in its world. But do not let that go to your head too quickly now. Because passing the first test is just the beginning of everything. The second test is much harder and most humans fail it. Most humans fail it without even realizing what is happening. Let us talk about routine and why it matters so much. Birds are creatures of habit and they love predictability. But more importantly, birds are creatures of deep expectation and trust. When that bird comes to your window at 7:15 a.m. and you are there, you reinforce a powerful bond between you. When you are not there, you accidentally break a silent promise. And birds absolutely hate broken promises more than anything else. You see, a wild bird's survival depends on predictability and safety. If they can predict your behavior, they can learn to trust you. If they can trust you, they can finally lower their guard. And lowering their guard is the most dangerous thing a bird does. It is also the highest compliment they can ever give you. When a bird preens in front of you and turns its back, when it closes its eyes in your presence, it is trusting you. It is saying without any words, I trust you with my life. This is the moment most people miss because they are distracted. We are so obsessed with feeding the bird for our own pleasure that we completely ignore the relationship that is actually forming. The bird is not coming for your crumbs or your sunflower seeds. The bird is coming for your presence and your peaceful energy. It is coming to see if you remembered to show up today. It is coming to see if you have changed since yesterday. It is coming to see if you are still the same human. The same human it decided to trust just last week completely. And this is where the psychology gets really deep and fascinating. Because birds do not just choose any human they come across. They choose specific humans, and they are very picky about it. And the criteria they use to choose might shock you tonight. So let us get to the question that brought you here finally. Why does this bird choose you out of all other people? Is it because you have the best food in the neighborhood? Is it because you have the safest garden without any predators? Is it because your window offers the best view of the sky? No, the real answer is far more primal and deeply personal. And it has absolutely nothing to do with food at all. It has to do with something called mirror recognition in animals. Birds, specifically corvids and parrots, are among the only groups. They are one of the few animals that recognize themselves in mirrors. This means they have a sense of self and their own existence. And because they know they exist, they are fascinated by others. They are fascinated by other beings that exist in complex ways. When a bird studies you, it is doing something truly profound. It is trying to understand who you really are as a being. It is trying to figure out if you are a predator or companion. It is trying to decide if you are a rival or a friend. And here is the beautiful and unsettling truth that follows. The bird that visits you daily has already made its final decision. It has already classified you as a friend in its mind. But here is the catch that most people never stop to consider. Birds do not choose friends lightly because the stakes are high. In the wild, a wrong decision about a human costs a life. So when a bird chooses you, it is making a calculated risk. It is betting its own life on your character and integrity. And that means the bird knows something about you already. Something you might not even know about yourself just yet. There is a fascinating study from the Max Planck Institute in Germany. This study looked at human personality and bird attraction together. They found birds are drawn to calm, slow, and predictable humans. But it goes deeper than just movement and physical behavior. Birds can actually detect intent from your body language easily. They can tell if you are looking at them or through them. If you look with curiosity and warmth, the bird feels that. If you look with indifference or hostility, the bird feels that too. So the bird visiting you is not choosing you for birdseed. It is choosing you because you have good energy around you. Yes, I said it, and I mean it completely and seriously. Birds are energy readers, and they sense what you radiate. And before you call this nonsense, let me show you science. Birds possess a specialized organ called the trigeminal nerve. This organ allows them to sense the Earth's magnetic field. This gives them a literal sixth sense that we do not have. But here is the part that will blow your mind tonight. Because they can sense magnetic shifts and electromagnetic changes. And you as a human generate your own electromagnetic field daily. Your heart and your brain and your emotions all produce signals. Your emotions create electrical signals that birds can actually feel. When you are anxious, your heart rate and field become erratic. The bird senses danger and becomes alert and uncomfortable immediately. When you are calm, your field becomes smooth and completely stable. The bird senses safety and feels comfortable enough to stay close. This is why birds are attracted to people who are still. People who are quiet and people who are emotionally regulated well. The bird is not just visiting you for a casual reason. It is reading your bioelectrical signature with its special senses. And it has decided that your signature is safe to approach. But here is where the mystery deepens even further tonight. What happens when the bird realizes it made a terrible mistake? Remember earlier I said birds remember faces for many years. They also remember betrayal and broken trust very clearly too. If you suddenly scream at the bird or chase it away roughly, if you break that trust, the bird will never forget it. In fact, researchers have proven that crows hold grudges for years. They will dive bomb a specific person they dislike intensely. They will do this years after the initial conflict happened. And what is worse, they teach their children to hate you too. This is called cultural transmission of recognition in bird science. The bird that visits you daily is not just one bird. It is an ambassador for an entire family of birds nearby. When you earn the trust of that ambassador, you earn a dynasty. But when you break that trust, you become the villain forever. So here is the question you need to ask yourself right now. When that bird looks at you through your window glass today, is it looking at a hero or is it looking at a villain? And the most terrifying part is the bird has already decided. The bird has already told its friends what it thinks of you. The decision about your character is already made in its mind. This brings us to the heart of this entire emotional story. The emotional connection between humans and birds is deeply real. You see, science is great and studies are important and useful. But what we are really talking about here is pure love. Not the kind of love we see in movies or romance stories. But a purer kind of love built on consistent daily presence. A love built on silence and mutual respect without any words. A love built on showing up day after day without demanding anything. Think about the bird that visits you every single morning now. It has no social media and it has no calendar or planner. It has no alarm clock to wake it up on time. And yet it knows exactly when to find you every day. It knows your schedule better than your own family members do. It knows when you wake up and when you come home. It knows when you sit down to have your morning coffee quietly. That is not hunger, that is an appointment it has made. The bird is saying, I am here, and are you here too? And this is where we shift from behavior to deeper meaning. Why do we care so much when a bird chooses us? Why does it feel so good when a wild animal trusts us? Because we live in a lonely world full of distractions. We have thousands of followers online, but nobody actually sees us. We have group chats full of messages, but nobody really listens. And then a tiny wild creature with feathers and a bean brain flies across a dangerous world just to land near us. And it looks at us not as a profile or title. It looks at us as a living being with a soul. In that moment you are seen for who you truly are. Not for what you have and not for what you do, but for who you are at your very core essence. The bird that visits you daily is giving you a precious gift. It is giving you validation that you are a good human. It is saying you are a good human and I trust you. And in a world that tells us we are never enough, that validation is worth more than gold or money ever could be. But here is the hard truth you need to hear today. This gift is not automatic and it is not guaranteed forever. It is earned through your consistent behavior and gentle presence. If you ignore the bird and never look up from your phone, if you never pause to acknowledge its presence and its trust, it will stop coming to visit you day after day. It will not be mad and it will not be angry. It will simply move on to find another human being. It will find another window and another heart that notices. And that is the silent tragedy of our modern lives today. We are being visited by angels wearing feathery coats outside. And we are too busy scrolling to even look up once. We do not even realize we failed the test of attention. And now we reach the climax of this entire revelation today. The revelation that will change how you see birds forever. Earlier we talked about how birds recognize human faces clearly. But researchers at the University of Cambridge discovered something deeper. They discovered that when a bird sees a human it trusts, the same neural pathways light up in its tiny brain. Those same pathways light up in a human brain too. They light up when we see someone we truly love deeply. The bird feels affection, not instinct and not simple reflex. Affection is real and it is measurable in their brain activity. The bird that visits you daily is not just interested in you. It actually likes you and prefers you over other humans. It genuinely on a neurological level prefers you above others. And here is the part that will keep you awake tonight. The bird is not choosing you just because you are safe. The bird is choosing you because you make it feel happy. You with your morning coffee and your calm, gentle voice. You with your gentle presence and your peaceful, steady energy. You are its favorite show and its favorite sound each day. You are its favorite part of the entire day without exception. And it comes back day after day and year after year. It comes back because it is addicted to that happy feeling. This is the truth we have been hiding from for too long. Birds are not mindless automatons that operate on pure instinct. They are emotional creatures that form deep bonds with humans. They form bonds and they make choices and they love us. And they choose us over other humans in their environment. But here is the sad part that breaks my heart completely. Most of us never know that we are being chosen daily. We live our entire lives visited by these tiny messengers. And we never once stop to ask ourselves the important questions. Why me and what does this mean for my life? Am I being chosen by this wild creature for a reason? The bird knows the answer and the bird has always known. The only one who did not know the truth was you. But now you know, and knowing changes everything about your world. So I want to leave you with something to hold tightly. Something to hold in your heart and mind forever now. The next time you see that familiar visitor on your window. The next time a bird lands near you on your fence, on your balcony or your windowsill, do not look away. Do not shoo it away and do not ignore its presence. Stop what you are doing and just look at the bird. Look into its tiny eyes and realize the profound truth. This tiny creature crossed a dangerous world to sit beside you. It chose to be here and it chose to be vulnerable with you. It chose you out of all the humans in the world. So the next time you see it, do not ignore that gift. Because it may not be random at all, and it never was.